This free acrylic tutorial is being brought to you by the Ginger Cook Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting, and contributions from caring viewers like you. Now, on with the show. And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylic. Say hello, Ginger.
Hello, Ginger.
Hey, there you go. Nobody else is going to say hello to you. I say hello to you. Hello.
Hi, John. How you guys? Welcome to
Another
Live
exciting
channel.
show.
Another exciting. Well, absolutely. That goes without saying, doesn't it? Just the fact you showed up here. We want you to so appreciate it. We're going to have fun tonight. We're going to really get in depth about how to paint in the impressionist style using one of Vincent Van Gogh's more famous paintings. It's got some yellow flowers and a blue vase, and you know our vase. We have a lot of florals on this channel that we've done in the past. Vincent Van Gogh's works are we call them the old dead guys or the old dead artists, and ODGs, and probably some of the most popular, starting with the one with the green. The very first one we did that we put up ever was one that had this bright green vase. And people have loved that one, even though it was done with a small camera and you just saw my hands and all that stuff. So tonight we're going to show you some tricks for brush strokes. And we're going to freehand this in. We're going to show you a trick on how to do that. At the end of the show, we're going to do, for those of you who are catching our live audience.
Catching our live audience. They're catching our live audience. Is that zombies catching them? Trying to increase their population? I mean, who's catching the live audience? I'm just trying to understand.
I'm on a flow here.
I understand that.
For
I
those
want to
of you
understand.
who are participating as a live audience member with the show as it's being aired, you will have the opportunity to enter into a contest to win a small picture that I'm going to do, a little acrylic painting, and hopefully somewhere around 10-15 minutes. Now, for those of you who say, well, I'm watching this as a pre-recorded lesson, so screw that, I'm not going to watch it. What we're going to do to entice you to keep watching is every 11 minutes, we're going to give you some sort of little art tip, right? But, sometimes it'll be 12, sometimes it'll be 8, so you can't just hit the countdown here. And at the end, we're going to tell you something wildly important, which I haven't thought of yet, but
it will come to you.
By the time I get there, I will know it, right? Kind of like, shh, yes. So, all right. So, in the meantime, we're also going to feature a few of our artists that from our Facebook club and our Art Academy. We're going to feature a couple of about 3 of those artists, show you what some of our students have been up to lately. Some of you YouTube watchers have been up to. If you want to have an opportunity to be featured on one of my live shows, if you are a member of our Facebook club, which is a free thing to join, Ginger Cook, what is it?
Ginger Cook Acrylic Painting,
Ginger Cook Acrylic Painting Club. I think that's what it is. It takes a while, right?
Hopefully one of the moderators will put the link up there for us.
Right? Well, it's been a long day. And then...
all days are 24 hours.
Yeah, but some of us sleep less than others during those 24 hours, John.
But some of us have a ring that knows how much we slept. And I slept proper.
Oh, I forgot to...
Uh-oh.
My ring, you know what? It's still on the charger downstairs. It's going to miss that nap I took. But anyway, that's all right. Well, that won't count then. Anyhow, so we're going to do that. We're going to feature that. And guess what?
What?
We've got, John and I designed 3 new, 3 or 2? Well, we designed a bunch. We have 3 up there.
I have 3 up. There's 4 total shirts available, and I got 2 to go.
3 brand new T-shirts, and we're going to show you those. They're just...
Oh, I got to do that too then.
3 brand new T-shirts.
So paint slowly tonight.
This is so way cool, right? So we're going to start off on an 8x10 canvas.
So scoot on down, John. Okay, gotcha.
All right, and here you see it. Now, I got such a kick out of this because when I looked at, the man drank. Let's be face it, Vincent Van Gogh drank, and a lot, okay? Well, probably not more than people at his time. The water wasn't all that great, so everybody just hit the sauce. And he never thought he was going to live to be an old person, which he didn't. But nonetheless, if you look at his original painting, his vase is all cattywampus. I just couldn't do that. For those of you whose English is a second language, cattywampus means it was all twisted around weird, okay?
It was cattywampus.
And it was cattywampus. And then, that's an Indian term. Did you know that?
Is it really?
I don't know. I'm making it up. Sounds Cherokee, doesn't it? Cattywampus.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that before.
Cattywampus.
Yeah, it was Cherokee, wasn't it?
Cherokee, right? So, now you know a little Indian, too. Well, okay, so now...
Has it been 11 minutes? No, not quite. That was a freebie.
Yeah, that was a freebie, right? I mean,
That's just a warm-up.
You don't get more erroneous information than that anywhere on YouTube than on this channel. Just stay tuned. We'll tell you some more, right? So, and then also he had his table was really at a cross angle, which annoyed me too. And then he had all the weight up here in the flowers, and none of it balanced. And not to criticize an old master. And I got to looking, what are all these little tiny bits of petals? And I figured it out. But the time he got around to finishing this, see all the little bits of yellow on the thing? These flowers were all dead. I swear to God, these are a little bit... I know, because this happens to me all the time when I buy flowers. Somebody forgets to water them, and then this is what they look like when they start falling out of the vase. So, as cute as this is, I'm pretty much sure that if this bothered you, probably could stick another couple right there.
Oh, you talked about that.
Put another couple yellow flowers there. I think these are the remains of them down here on the table. I'm not sure, but,
Scoop them back up.
Just saying. I'm going to do it just the way he did it. But I'm just saying, when you look at that, don't you kind of think that might have been what it was? These two managed to make it. Okay, so happy days for this. Let's tell you the colors we're going to use. Now, I'm going to use a color called Southern Ocean Blue by Matisse. You could use phthalo green and phthalo blue and a bit of white, and that would make that color. You could use phthalo blue. And let's see, let me just show you this color, Southern Ocean Blue, and I'll put some white with it so you can see it. I'm going to use that blue. I was trying to figure out what blue he did. I think you could use phthalo blue and cobalt blue might get it for you. And white, of course. And then if you didn't exactly have that blue, does it really matter? Just some sort of light, some combination of blues. Like kind of light blue. I thought it was pretty, but if you wanted to, And then I went off a photograph I had, and who's to know if we saw the painting in person, what it really looked like. It was never a large painting. This was originally done as a 16 by 20, if that's helpful to you. And we're going to use a little tiny bit of Dazzling purple. And I always think it's interesting how they spell that, D-I-O-X-A-Z. That's a color, that's a really bright purple. You can't really mix that. If you're wondering what purple you should just always have, that's one. Years ago, when Cinnamon, my daughter, was Cinnamon Cooney was around 20. She was at the Tomball Art College, and they didn't have enough people for one of the painting classes, and they were going to cancel it. And so I got a couple of my friends, because we could go as as adults, just kind of, what do they call that when you just sit in, don't get a grade, that kind of thing. Whatever, there's a word for that. But anyway, you have to still pay, though. So we went up there and took the class, so that I thought it'd be fun, painting class, see what they had to say. This was many years ago. And not to spare anybody's age here, but it was some time ago. And anyway, here's some phthalo blue. She, the art teacher put me onto this Dazzling purple, and I've been ever so grateful. She, what that one lady showed me how to do. Her name was Bonnie Newman, and she showed me how to stretch a canvas, and which I didn't know how to do, and she told me about Dazzling purple and artist tape. So that was well worth, that was certainly worth my time. Everybody has tricks over the years. You can get some of the best, information from artists, and everybody's got their own way of doing things. And if there's something you can incorporate and add to yours, that's always helpful, don't you think so?
Always.
I think I've got these labels mixed up, but they can be moved. We put labels out for you guys. By popular demand, we put the labels back. because some of you felt
Yeah,
like.
some of them made comments on that already.
So we did put the labels back. So, and also we're going to try to have those available. If you write us, these are Avery labels. They're actually in our store, on Amazon store. And then if you want the template for those, you can just write and ask us, and we'll, give
Until
you
we
that.
get a chance to put them up on the website somewhere.
Eventually, we'll get those up on the website. In the meantime, you can just do the contact us and write us. That's helpful. I think it's nice. I think they're nice, and you always want to have a blank sheet where you can handwrite in some paints that you're using. Sometimes when you're doing a lot of different colors, after a while you forget which is where.
And that has happened to you.
It's happened to me too. So the labels really can be very helpful, particularly when you really start mixing. Now notice the nice long line of white, the row like a log, okay, of white. Nothing else gets out there that much but the white. And we're not hunting for anything today because we've found it, okay. And I want to give a shout out to our moderators who are helping us out tonight.
Tonya, Judy.
Sonia and Judy. Tonya and Judy. Hi, Judy. Hi, Sonia.
Wendy.
Tonya. Hi, Wendy. Boy, Wendy and we're going to have to stop meeting like this. I only get to hear from her on these live shows. I really need to call Wendy up and just say hi, I mean to. We all get busy, but we appreciate it very much. And
that seems the three that are on tonight. And the Tech Bear, naturally. He's always on.
And the Tech Bear, okay. And then, of course, in our Facebook club, we have 6. Is Lynn on tonight, too, Mayhall? Is she on tonight?
I didn't see her go flying by yet.
She may not be on yet today. So but we also have, Judy, does double duty here, and so does Tonya. They also are moderators in our Facebook club. And then Judy's been helping us out on our Pinterest board. And you know what? It's just so, you can't imagine how much organization it takes to be able to make videos available easily for people to find. When you have 300 videos on YouTube and 300, almost 400 in our Art Academy, and then people say, well, where's the one with the palm tree? And you're going, what palm tree? It's like 10 palm trees. We now have on our website, Ginger Cook Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting, we now have a amazingly good search engine, and you can just catalog thing. You click on the button under, what's it called? Find the videos, or what's it called? The button, library, I think. Yeah.
The menu. Go to the menu.
Go to the menu.
Lesson library.
Lesson library. Yeah, there you go.
Top one, search.
Top one, search, and you can either just put in a word like palm tree, or you can go to the next tab, and it will just give you a picture of some of all the picture of the videos. And if you click on the picture, it takes you right there. This has taken hours to do. And then Judy on Pinterest, and gingercooklive on Pinterest, and it's all one word. If you type in spaces, you'll get it, but then everything's a hot mess. We discovered that over the birthday cruise. And Pinterest is one of those annoying sites where I could tell you it's the third board, and it might be on my computer, and on your phone it won't be. Who knows where it is? So you kind of have to look. But if you look for 2019 YouTube tutorials, you'll see what we've done this year, 2018 YouTube tutorials, when Judy's put links to everything. And then also kind of some of the other lessons that we've had. So, and then you want to see what our students are doing, look at the 2019 student board from our academy, and also 18. You go back to years 15, see what people have been doing.
Wow.
So much just kind of cool.
That's your history lesson.
Well, I think, this is important information, because if you sit there and say, I really like what this lady teaches, I wish I knew what other paintings she had, other tutorials that are available either free or in our Art Academy. And, I think and I've always wanted to paint whatever, and I wonder where it is, kind of thing. Yeah?
I've been there.
Okay, so, and thanks to Judy and John, we have got some amazing, easy now, findy things to help you find the videos. Findy things.
Another technical term. Man, you are throwing them out tonight.
I know, aren't you? Just cattywampus, findy things. It's hard to know, right?
I'm going to need a scorecard.
Okay, so here's just a canvas ultramarine blue. It's been painted a color 8x10. Hear the drum sound.
Sounds like somebody tightened up their canvas.
Boom, boom, boom. That happens because I sprayed the back of the canvas with water, and now it's nice and tight. So if you've got a few little wrinkles in your canvas, or have you ever done this? Here's your fabulous information. Have you ever accidentally leaned the canvas up against something, or God forbid somebody in your life who wants to be very helpful says, let me help you carry those canvases in, and they stick their knuckle under here like this, and they put a big knuckle dent in one of the bigger canvases. Here you've got this little bulge here. Spray water on the back of your canvas, it'll take it right out. Hot water is even better. A hairdryer will shrink it for sure after it's wet. So that's, if you've got a little dent in, as long as you don't have a hole, that should iron right out. How's that? Just with the water and shrinkage. Okay? Now, that's good, right?
Most excellent.
So we're going to, oh, I like that. That's most excellent. That was from a movie. Remember which movie that was?
I couldn't even begin to tell you.
Okay, so, well, it was most excellent. Who said that? I'm trying to think. You guys know. Who said that? Most excellent. Okay, so I pretty much, this is, 8, and I pretty much got the middle of my vase at 4. I kind of centered it. So here's the middle of my canvas like that. It starts off about a finger above the bottom. That's good, right? It's good to know. Yes and yes. And I'm going to come straight up from there, and let's go about 4.5 inches up from there, right? Okay. Put a little dot. Okay, so that's the top. So let's just, for the fun of it, let's just do that. Okay. Now about 2 inches up. Okay. I want to
Bill and 10 in Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Ah, thank you. Wayne's World. I knew it was something. All right, 3 inches here, so that'd be 1.5 on each side. Yes and yes. For 3 inches there. Yeah. So this is as wide as we're going to make it. Okay, you with me? And then up here, how wide is it going to be? It's going to be about 2 inches, 2 1/4. So 2 1/8, I guess. Something like about yay. No, it's got to be 1 1/8. It'll come to me in a minute. What is it? All right, you want to divide. So I want 2 inches about here, not quite 2. All right, like that. All right. So now, okay. So what you're going to do is, that you want this to bulge here, like this, and come on down to the bottom. So make a kind of a circle like that, can you? And then do this. And then you got this down here. Bring this down maybe a little lower, like this. Then you've got same thing on both sides. You've got this little curved area like this, like a little smiley face that's coming underneath your vase. There you go. So there's your vase. It's pretty easy to draw in, isn't it? And if it's a little candywampus, you've got to see his, and you'll feel better, immensely better about yours. just whatever you do can't be as screwy as the one he did. Okay, it'll seem very authentic if yours is a little out of whack. So how's that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I want to come up here in the corner and kind of do an area about like that. Then come over here like this. Okay, we're going to do an area about like this, and then so those are these are flowers. Okay, you like it? Just, And then over here on the side, we've got 2 flowers right over here. I like to put these in while we're doing it. This kind of, see the mustache? Okay, a mustache flower here like this. Okay. Then you want one that's coming up like that. Nice little one like this. One over here like this, and maybe it's only a mustache flower because we've got another little flower coming here like that, that's over here and sort of tucked under here, a little purple flower. So that's those are our purple flowers. And then up here, we've got, here's a circle, and here's a circle. Then we've got a half a circle up here, another one, kind of an oval here, and, something here. Okay, so those are these flowers. And that's about what we need to know. That's about as much information as we need to know. Oh, yeah, right about here, let me just measure up I'll tell you what I did. His was much steeper and I thought it looked weird. You may want to do it steeper. So like 2 inches up from the bottom here, okay? About here, I'm going to draw a line and then it goes down at a slight angle, about like that. See, what was this? It's about a 1 1/4. What was this? 1.5, right? 1.5, 1.5. About something like this is the angle of his table. It's not totally straight, so that's what we got.
If somebody was going to do this instead of an 8 by 10, 11 by 14, how much bigger would you make that vase? Considering that it's going to be 14 inches versus your 10 inches, so it's like 40% bigger.
Well,
how tall is that vase now?
Well, right now the total length of the vase is about, let's see, turn the ruler over, one could read it. It's about 5 inches tall.
So if you make it like 8, 9, you should be fine.
Yeah, 8, 9 inches tall. And air on the top, give yourself a little more. I thought he crowded these flowers a lot up on the top.
A lot of the old guys did that.
You know, you might want to give yourself a little more room on the top, too. Just a thought, you know. I kind of, because mine was small, I would tell you to try to find the original because he actually has one more flower in here than I do. I just didn't have room for it. So you may, if you're making it bigger, have room for that third flower.
Hey, we'd like to thank Jamie for the donation that came in through the PayPal system. Thank you very much, Jamie.
Oh, Jamie, that is so nice. Did you know that we had someone just writing us today that was saying and really had some just rather extraordinary experience in their life that left them just able to paint but not do much else and sort of very confined to wheelchair and so forth. And John and I were saying that perhaps some donations would come in tonight from our gang of live viewers, and we would be able to scholarship that person. Because we match you guys dollar for dollar for scholarships for the Academy. So thank you very much. Somebody's got at least, I don't know what, but we appreciate it. Anyway, and the difference between the PayPal system and the one where you can, when you're doing a live show, I don't know if you can do it during a premiere, but in a live show.
Yes, you can.
In the premieres of the live shows, YouTube has a way where you can donate, and contribute to the
artists of your choice.
To the artists that are, showing out these free lessons, and you can do that. However, YouTube takes about
30%.
30%, and PayPal, which is credit card system, takes what?
3%.
3%. So it's easy enough to go to our website gingercooklive.gallery, scroll
all the way to the bottom.
All the way to the bottom. Woo! And then you'll see that it's not like we're asking anybody for funds, but someone felt compelled to do it. And inspired, perhaps that's a better word, then that would be good. All right, so you guys are with me, all right? These are the 3 brushes I used on this painting. Used this little round one, the small little 3/4 inch angle.
Okay, that's not 3/4 inch.
Well, this is 3/8.
The little one you had.
1/4, and then this is 5/8 angle brush. Those are the ones I used. And I want you to know that the brush strokes are all going kind of sideways this way.
Yeah, they're short ones.
Yeah, and they're short ones. So now, and this is going to be dark brown. So I would say the first thing we should do is just paint our vase in. You guys up for that?
Question.
Yeah.
You do the vase before the background?
Yeah, in this case, we're going to do the vase before the background.
Huh.
All right. So now, yeah, it's kind of a different way to paint it, isn't it?
It really is.
So now we're going to... Well, his background is very rough, and he did it with lots of paint. If he'd hadn't painted that vase first, the vase would have been all bumpy and weird. And this is obviously a ceramic vase of some kind. So let's find the colors. So we're going to start with white and Southern Ocean blue, and we've got this really pretty kind of aqua color. Yeah. But if we didn't have that, and some of you don't, we understand that because not everybody gets the Matisse color. All right. So let's take some white and some phthalo blue. Like that. And let me show you what happens when you add phthalo green, which I had right here to show you. Here. Let me show you what happens when you add a little phthalo green to that, and you'll get a similar color. Okay, let's put a little of that over there. Okay. A little more white. Okay, a little more blue. Okay, and then here, let's put some more white in it. See, that's the color. Do you see the color, you guys? Same color. So, good to know, right? Sometimes, you know, it's nice to... what's the advantage to, say, buying a color you can mix? Well, just convenient. How's that? And if I put a little ultramarine blue in this one now, a little tiny bit, just a small amount, I can tone this down just a bit so it's not such a bright green. Now I'm going to come in here like this, kind of a blue color, and then using the this nice big brush here. And one thing I want to do, here's 11 minutes have gone by, here's the tip. Don't outline your stuff. Start on the middle and work your way out. That way you can always erase the chalk. And then if if you like a shape better, you're not stuck with the outline. Does that make sense? So I always see people that whatever they've drawn, they want to outline it. In acrylics, just try not to do that. Okay, see how I'm coming around here like that. Keep making it lower. Now I think I still want it nice and fat here, so I'll go out on the edge like that. And then whatever you do on one side, do the same on the other. See, I love these angle brushes because they just twist so nicely, and voila, you've got a vase. Okay, the voila part, that's the French part. We've had all kinds of things tonight. The Cherokee, oh, I'm just kidding. Okay. Just kidding. So, we had some great comments. Want to thank everybody that did the comments on our art haul that we aired, kind of a spontaneous video, because John and I did a spontaneous shopping trip. It's like where we...
Spontaneous shopping spree?
Really a spree at that point. We got down and there was a local art store in Houston that was wooing. And they did a nice older couple. Vicki and her husband there, he's like 90. They've been around in Houston for like years, and it's one of the oldest art stores in Houston. And they're not retiring anytime soon. She's a little younger than me, and he's like 90, and they're getting a new location. I mean, adding a little more ultramarine blue to this while it's still wet. Going to darken this side. And let's see, a little bit more of this Southern Ocean color, and I want it a little bit darker at the bottom of the vase here, like that. Okay, now here's the trick. Then wipe the brush off. So anyway, we went down there and, sort of bought the store out, it felt like, but not really. Honestly, we barely made a dent. And here, let's get a little shadow down here too, like that, a little bit on the bottom. And I think that can just sit here for a while and be a vase. Does that sound good? Okay, so now that we've decided that this is our vase shape, if you're totally happy with that, hold it up to a mirror. Here's the next trick. Hold this up to a mirror and look at your vase in a mirror. Just stop now, run to the bathroom, hold it up to a mirror. If it's wrong, you'll see it. When it looks backwards at you, in fact, if you want to be the last of the big spenders, go to Walmart, the equivalent kind of store where you live, and buy a full-length mirror for around $10, $12, a real cheap one, and prop it up behind you so that you can then just have the mirror behind you and be able to hold your picture up to a mirror easily and see what it looks like, because that's the fastest way to see, particularly a mistake like in a vase like this where you're not sure if you have all the sides correct. Okay? Yes and yes? Everybody's going to do that? Okay. So here, I'm going to just cover the thing. So now, my next step is I know what this is going to be in here. So now I'm going to take this brush, okay, and we're going to do a sort of a series of colors. We're going to come up here like this, and I'm going to start doing sideways brush strokes with some kind of this darker color, like this. Okay, like that, yay. Just kind of do this, and then while it's still wet, I'll just take some white paint. And I'm using an angle brush. This is so easy because it's right on its edge. And the darkest color I want next to the vase, and these lighter colors I want right here. If you need to just do that and then do this, that's okay too. We'll want the lighter colors out toward the edge, okay? This is our dark shadow color on our wall. I think we came down a little further here, we said, yeah. All right, so we're going to just keep going and doing that. And why I'm doing that, because it just doesn't require a lot of conversation at this point, John.
Well, maybe I can interrupt you then.
I'd love it if you would, yes.
Really? I get to interrupt you, actually?
Yeah, come on.
Ooh.
Go for it, darling. Go for it.
All right. We'd like to thank Sandra for the donation, and also Stephanie, and also Sharon, and also Deborah.
Thank you very much, you guys. That's awesome. Thank you. That is so nice. We appreciate it very much. We have any questions coming up here?
Questions. What does it take to become a master artist versus just an artist? When do you know you're a master?
Well, usually you don't have to be the one that says that. Someone else will say it for you. We'll start with that, right? But, you know, for instance, I'm a master artist in acrylics. But if
now who says so?
Well, just a minute. Let me just keep going. Don't interrupt. I'm on a roll here. I'm a master artist in acrylics, but if we were to take up airbrush, I'm a beginner, just like the rest of you. I have no idea. I'd probably ruin the whole thing. My whole machine would all stick up, and I wouldn't clean it right, and the damn thing wouldn't spray anymore, and I'd be all upset, right? And as much as I know about acrylics and pastel, you'd have to have a whole nother set, you know. So when you're talking about a mastering of a medium, when you really are considered a world authority on a, you know, I won any number of contests for acrylic paint, and over the years, you know, have published my artwork, and you know, without getting too deep into it, have you know, feel like I'm probably one of the #1 acrylic artists as far as understanding and mastering the medium. Are there other artists certainly as wonderfully skilled and can do all that stuff? Sure, lots of people are. And then there's some people that just keep it for a hobby. And, you know, for instance, Celine Dion was a master of, you know, probably what you call a diva. Lots of people sing, and there's probably some home singers, maybe they just sing in church, that maybe just sing as good as them. But, you know, when someone's like this, usually master artists teach and make other masters. That's one of that thing. You know, my job isn't to, you know, so what if I can do it? I think probably my best skill is being able to show what I know to someone else and explain it in such a way that you get it. Because that's the key here. Absolutely, that's the key. How to explain it to somebody else so that they can get it. And then the thing of it is that a lot of times, you know, someone will get to a certain level and then think that you can't learn anything else, which is not true. Just like there's, you know, you have a general practitioner as a doctor, and then you have people that are brain surgeons, or maybe they're orthopedic surgeons, or they're internal medicine doctors, and they've specialized in one field. And so you could have a master acrylic artist in landscapes. They wouldn't be a master portrait artist. Does that make sense? So I think it's a lot of it is there's a lot to going into answering that question. Is that good, John? Is that a good explanation?
Yeah, I think so.
You know?
I think that's excellent. Hey, you see over on the left of your viewing monitor or device, you will see some of our new T-shirts that are just currently available at our T-shirt store.
Well, they just went up today.
Like, that's probably why we were late.
Yeah, they just went up today. What do you guys think? And what are the sayings on them? Because I think it's really cute. What about the fish? What does the fish say? What's the saying on that fish?
Oh, just one moment, please.
John will tell you. We don't remember. We made this stuff up and don't remember. We came up with some really, I thought, very fun things to say about our fishies.
Do you have an eye for art?
Yeah, that's what the fish says. Don't you love that? Do you have an eye for art?
And the dog, Pat, the painting dog, the cat did it.
The cat did it.
We have another one for Pat. Pat's got another
If you didn't like that saying, we have another one for Pat. What does that one say?
It's not up yet. Can't tell you.
Can't tell you. We have another one for Pat. There have been some people that might want us, you know, that maybe didn't, you know, that wasn't their thing, but we have another one for Pat too.
And then for our old vehicle, have a Woody for art.
You like that? Have a Woody for art? Don't you love it? And that's an old, it's not an old vehicle. Those are called, that particular old car with the surfboard, they were called Woody station wagons. That's what they were called. And in fact, the Beach Boys did a great song about the woody station wagon. Do you remember that?
I do.
All right. So for those of you who are not familiar with that genre of painted Beach Boys of music, that's
Genre of...
of
Okay.
music. That was the Beach Boys. So we thought that one was really fun. I think it's one of my favorite Academy lessons on you know, that and it's done with a palette knife too. That is a way cool tutorial, but I love that painting anyway. So
And then the last one we have our merry band of artists without the birthday bash. The birthday bash shirt has been retired for this year.
yeah. So all right. So you see what I've got here. So we can kind of let that dry. Everybody's good with that. So now I've had this. We're going to go back to the vase because it's had a while to dry a little bit, right? And just come on here and lift this up.
And you notice we have different styles there. We have tank tops, tees, and V's, and long sleeve.
Yeah, the long sleeve was because Liz, one of our friends, says, you know, I don't never wear T-shirts because she says because the because where she lives it's just always a little cooler. She lives in the mountains, and so she asked us if we had anything with long sleeves, and they did make that option available. So in deference to our friend Liz, we included one that would have long sleeves. Okay. Yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
All right. So we're gonna put a little bit of too much. I'm going to rinse the brush now because I don't want that color on there. Okay, so I'm just playing with the vase a little bit now because it's had a chance to get slightly tacky. Now that was a little ultramarine blue on my brush, and with a little water, kind of damp, and it just sort of blends in really nicely here like that. Okay, and that's too much, so let's just take a little bit of that off. There you go.
We had another donation come in from Chloe. Thank you very much, Chloe.
Thank you very much. It's so anyway, I'm gonna if you rinse your brush, you really gotta dry it. I want to have a little bit of white right here like that. You see that? Kind of blend that in. Just take your brush and there you go. So a little bit of white there, kind of like that, and then you can, if you want to be the last of the big spenders, here you go, a couple little white blobs like that. There, a little bit of highlight on the vase.
White blobs, and again, another technical term. I hope you people are writing these down.
Well, I want to make sure that you keep up, so I have to I dumb it down every once in a while, you know. Just a white blob. There you go.
I like the white blob.
You like the white blob. All right, so I've got that. So you know, you're going, oh, okay, that's nice. Then what? Well, this brush, I think we have one more larger brush. We have to get this one right here. Okay, so now if we want a little, here's a little bit of burnt sienna and dazzling purple, okay? And let's just come under here like this, under our vase, and just paint our table dark brown, which is burnt sienna and dazzling purple. It could be burnt umber if you didn't have any of those colors. How's that? Okay. So this was easy, and because you're painting over a pretty dark surface of that blue, this is going to go dark pretty quick on you. See how nicely that just tucks right in to here. And I can just, there we go. And now that is happily, as opposed to unhappily, covered with the brown paint. Yes and yes. Okay, so now got base down, that's down. Now what? Well, we know that up in here we're going to need some greens. So we're going to take some same color and a little bit of yellow oxide and maybe some ultramarine blue and make it little, no, let's take a little more of that color. A little tiny bit of yellow. A little bit, I want this a little brighter. Okay, about like that. Not as bright as this green shirt I'm wearing, okay? Now I want to come up here like this and just about in here like so. I'm going to say that this area, not the whole thing. Let's see, make this a little darker, a little bit of darker green. I'm going to pull a couple of petals down on my vase like that. Okay, something like here. And this is going to be green. I know it's going to be dark green anyway, so I'm going to make this a little bit darker. There you go. A couple of places. That's going to be some dark green background. So far, so good, yeah? I mean, there's probably a lot of different ways you could paint this, but this is a really simple way to paint it. So while we're waiting for that to dry, we have any other questions, John?
Sure. I'll give you this one. How long are the brush strokes?
On these ones?
Yeah.
On his, they were really small. I used a bigger brush, but they're really...
For the background, yeah.
For the background, they're really small, about, you know... his
Well, how
were,
wide is that brush you're doing?
this is about...
5/8, isn't it? That's a 5/8?
Yeah.
So they're less than an inch, probably 3/4
Yeah, less than an
to
inch.
5/8.
And if you looked at his, he had, this is just the first layer. You can go back over this now and make them even smaller. Does that make sense? Kind of do layer 2 on them. Because I got to tell you, his were very small. But they all went back and forth like this, which I thought was kind of cool when you thought about it. I wasn't sure if this was some sort of silk wallpaper he had back there. Back before Cinnamon was born, I lived in Aspen, Colorado, and Better Homes and Gardens used to have a come out. I mean, I used to read that all the time. They were the ones you went to look to see how to decorate your house, you know, when you didn't have any money and you're trying to figure out what you could do. And they always had stuff like decorating tips for under $100, stuff like that. And but my goal was, what I really wanted was this woven bamboo wallpaper. And it looked very much like this, only in natural colors, not blue. I mean, and I remember I actually ended up with that on one wall, and I was just, when I finally could afford that, I was so excited to get that wallpaper. I know it's kind of silly, but those things were really important. All right, so I want a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow oxide.
Hey, we'd like to thank Lenny for the donation.
Who?
Lenny.
Lenny, thank you so much.
Oh, and Eric says, hello. Thank you for the donation, Eric, but hello, happy anniversary, Ginger.
Oh, hi.
What does that mean?
Eric and my anniversary. We've been friends for 2 years on Facebook.
Get out of town.
I know. It's our anniversary, Eric's and mine. Ha ha. Hi, Eric.
Eric, you and I are going to have to talk there, buddy.
We've been friends for 2 years, and it's our anniversary.
I've known her longer.
And, but are we friends on Facebook? Have you friends?
I'm not sure. I don't think we are.
You know, what does that say about us? We're not friends on Facebook.
Well, if you're not friends on Facebook, I mean, you might as well just hang it up.
I'm telling you what. All right, I'm going to just
now, somebody asked something, the difference between now, let me scroll if I can find it. Is there a difference between a background color and a ground?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sure. Look, you've got it, you know, when you start off painting a canvas or a piece of wood or whatever, the first thing you have to do is seal off the moisture and create a barrier between your acrylic paint or your oil paint or whatever you're using and the surface you're painting on. And so gesso is the ground that does that. That's like a ground. And that does work like that. And one of the reasons they tell you not to paint on plywood or something, and ampersand and some of those wood paneling things are so expensive, is because it's very hard to keep the oils from the wood from seeping through even the acrylics. So when you see some of these wood panels,
that's what a ground is.
That's what ground is. And so then the background, your background colors are, your underpainting.
Is that what we refer to as underpaintings?
Yeah, I call them underpaintings, your background colors. Some people refer to that as a ground too. And so it's like an underpainting. Like I say, with Leslie Humphreys, she paints all her canvases gold first.
Yeah.
Some people like to paint extra coats of gesso on and sand them, make them just smooth as can be in between and all that stuff. But I find that I like the color that I want to show underneath. Like we did this dark blue because I wanted that dark blue. If I missed a spot, that dark blue was going to show through and give added depth to my painting. If I'd painted it red, that would have been something different, you see? So, all right, I kind of made this flower a bit bigger. You saw that? I moved it over a little bit. Made this flower a bit bigger. This is the first layer of that one. Okay? And then I'm going to take a little bit of magenta.
Oh, when's the next auction? I'm glad you asked that question, Sandy. It's we start in March 8th, and then over probably the 4 days or the weekend, we'll be adding items up periodically, and it will run into April. But there's going to be a lot of different variety on this particular auction. This is our Spring Fling.
Spring Fling, yeah. All right, so I'm just kind of laying the groundwork for this purple flower right here. Putting it in like that. Don't have much to do with that. So there he is. There's that purple flower. And so that has to dry before I can do anything. This has to dry before I can do anything.
We did have somebody ask a question about the t-shirt sizes. The t-shirts as we have selected are what's called unisex, and there's a video that the Tech Bear did on that. It shows you how you can actually click on it and they tell you the dimensions of the different sizes. And we found them to run true to size.
True to size, yeah. They run true to size.
So if you're an XL on other brands, it's XL in this brand. If you're small, you're small.
Yeah, and we had a good cross sampling of that because we had 40 people show up for our birthday bash on the Liberty of the Seas, and everybody came with T-shirts.
And they all seemed to
they
fit
all
nicely.
and they all they look great and they wear well. I mean, everybody got there were enough different varieties of the kind. One of the things we think is that people like choices in what they get. So there's different fabrics you can kind of better best kind of thing, and even the better. There wasn't enough difference between the better and the best.
And it's not price difference. So right now, all we're offering is the premium T-shirts, but a lot of different colors.
A lot of different colors.
We're offering the colors instead.
We just picked the ones we liked the best and offered the colors that thought we wouldn't get too crazy on you. Okay.
It's pretty simple now. We simplified it.
So can I dry this? Do you have anything you can show?
May I dry this?
I want to show some. I want to dry this so I can keep going and. See, let me just bring this down.
We can talk about some other things.
Yeah, let me just bring this on down.
No, wait, I have to find out who you are.
Okay.
Talk a little bit so I can mute you.
Talking a little bit.
Okay.
You're going to mute me. I just want to finish this so I can dry it.
All right, while she's drying, we're going to take a look at some of our student art. Let's get one fired up here, as a matter of fact. There we go. Okay, you ready to dry? I'll take that as a yes. All right, she's drying that off. Take a look at this. This is from a Pauline Kirkham. This is our Solitude for Two. Beautiful job on this. Great colors, good depth. Got the angles right and everything. I mean, this is one beautiful painting worthy of a museum hanging in a good frame on this little puppy. So well done, Pauline. Thank you for sharing that with us. Oh, I thought she was done. Sorry about that in your ear. Let's go ahead. We can throw up one more while we have a chance. This is from Rachel. It's the penguin. This is part of the Back to Basics series. It teaches you the blending, and this is our cute little, what's he called? A rock? What's the penguin called? A rock island? Rock somebody? Rockefeller?
Rockhopper penguin.
A rockhopper.
That's our Back to Basics beginning lesson.
Yeah. So that's what the beginners. So it teaches you your blending and all those other fun things. Next drying session, we have a couple more to look at.
Oh, we saw the Rockhopper, huh?
Saw the Rockhopper, and we saw Pauline's Solitude for Two.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, isn't it? I thought those were very nice, right? Well, here's the thing, you guys. You'll see me put up paintings that we're doing. For instance, and you want to know, does anybody ever do these? Honestly, if you want to know if anybody ever does them, join our Facebook club because that's where most of these get posted. This is I think this particular painting would go very nicely with what you're painting today. This is a YouTube tutorial, and I think that would just look splendid with this. Don't you think so? If you're talking about a series of paintings, somebody else might like this one. Again, another YouTube tutorial. If you were looking for just a series of vase paintings, I think we've got about 20 different ones that you can do. But I just thought I'd show you these two are already available on YouTube to paint. And I think when you get to the point where every week we post something, people just get a little overwhelmed, don't even know what we have up anymore. So I like to bring those back up. But when you see stuff like that and you wonder, well, can somebody else, is this something somebody can paint? Yeah, like for instance, one of the lessons we have coming up in our Art Academy is this one. It's cottage house, what is it, cottage garden? Garden house, okay?
Garden house.
Garden house, all right. So this is garden house. And I promise you, people will be able to paint this. We break these down into 20-minute segments, and you can stop and slow the video down. You can send me the paintings for help. This is another one that we thought would go very nicely with this, called Michigan House. It's up there now already in our Art Academy. These are just a few things that I like to show people, and I want you to know that people do them, and do them well, and really are learning. And that's the key. They're learning. All right, so we've got these flowers dry, so let's come back here with a little bit of, let's take some yellow. Make sure you don't have any green in it. All right, and let's add a little bit of cad red medium, okay, and make this little orange color. And I'm going to come out from here using just my brush as the for the leaves. The angle brushes are for the petals. See, the angle brushes are cool that way because you can just say, well, that's going to be the petal here, and maybe I'll add a little more yellow to that. Come over here. Make that a little brighter. Come over here like this and say, here I'm just going to come in here like that and say, here's some little petals on this flower. Now, again, I think his flowers were about done by the time he got around to painting them. But I've got a little white on the brush now. I'm going to come on the inside here, make another row. Just don't mix any colors. Just you've already got paint on your brush. Come around this way. Just keep turning the brush around like that, and use the advantage of having the brush bristles at an angle. And here we go. Here, let's just put another layer of white on that. This side was a little lighter like that. Okay, and we had another little. Let's get a little bit of yellow here. We had another little one coming up here like this. And it's looking up. It's, sometimes they're not all flowers. Let me show you my face here. They're not all looking at you. Sometimes they're looking up. Sometimes they're looking to the side. Think about that when you're painting flowers. Don't have them all looking at you like flashlights. Okay?
I have a couple questions for you if you have a moment there.
Yeah.
Is it true that Van Gogh never sold one painting during his lifetime?
He actually sold one. To somebody, but he traded for others. And here's the thing, though. His brother, Vincent, if you haven't heard, I've got a really good biography that I relate about him on Starry Night video, if you haven't watched that. And Vincent's brother, younger brother, and him had an uncle in Paris that was a big art dealer. A big art dealer. And when they got out of school, and his family were not poor. They weren't poor people. His family was, I guess, what equivalent to middle class. When they got out of school, he and his brother went to work for his uncle in the art business. Now, Vincent at that point wasn't an wasn't an artist particularly. That was never indicated. Okay, but let's see. Let's bring this one up here. This one's kind of looking up. You guys, you see that? Kind of looking up. This one's kind of a little bit darker. Okay, and then we've got we're back to the orange here. We've got a nice orange one coming out this way. Maybe something over here too, but here we go. So anyway, they went to do this art dealer. Now, Vincent's father was a minister, Protestant minister. And so he was raised, very religiously, and, had great moral values. And apparently his uncle was, a little bit like a horse trader there with the art. And Vincent wouldn't lie. He would not lie about the artwork. So somebody came in and he told his uncle he'd sell the art because the minute he figured out what the deal was, okay? The minute he figured out, let me get this away from the green. I hit the yellow and the green. The minute he figured out what the deal was, then he absolutely refused to lie. And so his uncle said, okay, you can still work here if you won't lie, but just keep your mouth shut. But finally, even that became too much for him. He honestly couldn't keep his mouth shut any longer, okay? And so he started to tell customers, he went beyond, started volunteering information when he felt like they were kind of being swindled, because it bothered him. At his house, nobody lied. His dad was a minister, like I say, very family was, that's not how they rolled in their family. And his brother was a little bit easier. His brother could go with it, but he couldn't. He absolutely couldn't do it. And so the family decided to send him to school to be a minister in Belgium or Holland, I guess. And he went to school because he wouldn't sit there and lie. And so his brother stayed on and learned the art business. And when eventually Vincent went to, and actually paid for him to go to art school eventually, he ended up instead of going to art school, gave up on the ministry thing. And his brother and his brother felt he knew what the prices were worth of these paintings, helped support him. I mean, he was out there painting it by himself, never married. And they never came off the price of a painting. Most of us as artists, come on, I've certainly done it. Come on, tell me you haven't. Somebody says, I really want that painting. I can't afford that much for it. Well, you take something less. And, most, yeah, well, okay. Like, what did you have in mind? Okay. I mean, all kinds of stuff like that. But his brother wouldn't do it. So I think that he might have sold paintings if anybody had been willing to negotiate the price, but his brother never would. And he felt he felt very strongly about that. Perhaps, and it could be too because Vincent, and I'm not saying it was all his brother either. It could be true because his brother, because he didn't like that sort of horse trading that went on in art galleries either. So there's probably a number of reasons why that didn't happen. But he did trade for art supplies. He did do portraits of people and a lot of himself. And apparently he wrote his brother almost every day. There's like 10,000 letters from him in some museum in France, and they're still translating them every day. He said, this is the painting I'm going to do. And he and his brother, talked about what they were going to do through the letters and so forth, about the paintings that he was doing. And there was some concern for him in his mind that he wouldn't be able to, just going into straight yellow now up in here. Okay, a little bit more yellow. You got to layer these yellow flowers. You see what I'm doing? You got to layer these a bit. Okay. As long as we're doing it, let's put in some of these others. Let's say that these are coming in here. There's just some of these over here too. They're coming around like this. So anyway, that was their deal.
I've got another question for you. From It Matters. I know you love to teach us different styles and using the dead guys to learn from, but what is the style you find most hard to teach?
Probably abstracts. Because I intensively, I mean, I had an agent one time, and I've had a publisher, and for one thing, I mean, abstracts are very subjective. You're talking about abstracts. So, I mean, I can show you techniques to do it, right? But there was this one lady, and she was outselling everybody in this company. And she just did the most hideous red and black abstracts I had ever seen in my life. And you got to paint some of those. I couldn't bring myself to do it. It's the most difficult thing for me to teach, and I pretty much decided I would never do it, are paintings that I don't believe in.
There you go.
If I don't believe in it, I can't teach you how to do it, even if you really want to know how to do it. For instance, like I probably wouldn't want to teach a painting of a jet plane.
That was going to be next.
I know, and I don't. John's really pushing hard for tractors. But I'm just saying that if I don't believe in it,
I had to go for a student for
that's
that.
very hard for me. Okay, and I'm not saying anything else other than I'm not trying to be mean about it. Just that's how I feel about it. And Cinnamon and I one time we took see this big pile of orange here? I'm going over here now. I'm not going to try and do anything with that. There's too much orange on it. And you got to do second coats on these, by the way. On these colors, because we're going over something dark. In case you didn't see that, you absolutely have to do some second coats.
Hey, we'd like to thank Anne-Marie for the donation. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Oh, Anne-Marie, thank you very much. Thank you for the nice comments the other day you made on my photo too. Thank you.
And also a donation from Tonya for the person who mentioned in the start of the show.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, we're going to do a little of this. We're going to do a little of this flower right now. Okay, so we got a little pink. We're going to put a little yellow in it. Get a little bit of white. So it's sort of off-white. You see that? Now I'm going to come around here like this. And I'm just going to give another layer of color to this. Okay, and then maybe get a little more yellow on this side. This is my next layer of color. Then back into the white. Notice how nobody's rinsing their brush here. And we're going to say this is the bottom part of this flower, like that. It goes up like that. Make sure that you've got this one curved around, okay? Now, what happens there, and I'm drying it off. In fact, I probably should rinse it because I've got light on it, and then I'll dry it. Now I'm going to take some dark purple and drop it in here like that. That's the center of this flower, right like that. And then take some of this purple here and kind of make a little circle area and come around here like this. This was going to outline this flower in a little bit of this dark purple. It's kind of coming over this way. Okay, like that. All right, so we're saying that that's it. It's not really a pansy. I don't know what this, I'm not really, I have no idea what this flower is. But I think one thing I do know is I can, wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So if I want this flower to show up, I can take a little of the background color, which you all know what is, and come back over here and kind of reshape your flower if you need to. It's easy enough to do. To just take a little of that background color and, fix that purple flower. Here's a little bit of light on it. I'm going to come right here like this and pull some, let's see, a little magenta with that. There you go, some light here, light up here, light here. There's something like that. Okay, so a little bit of color. Now we'll put a yellow center in when that dries. And we'll take a little bit of this magenta and come up here like this, up this flower like that. That's pretty, right? Just these angle brushes are so perfect for flowers because you can do all that fun stuff. Now, while these flowers are drying, we get to do the fun stuff. It's just all the little white flowers.
I had a question from somebody. How can you get your yellow to paint over purple? I thought that you couldn't do that. I thought we always had to put white down first.
That would have been better. How's that? That would have been a better idea. I had to come back and do 2, 3 coats. One coat of white would have done it, and then dried it, and then kept painting it. I had to do several more coats. It also depends on your brand of paint too. But for instance, Holbein. Do I have any yellow in Holbein? If John were to get to me, Holbein is the one that will paint the best over. Here's a Holbein light color. This is cad yellow light in Holbein. That probably has the most pigment of any color. Let me just show you this. Where am I? Right here. This one really here. This one really will paint over dark stuff. This Holbein color. This right here. This is actually, that's cad yellow medium in Holbein, and they've got. I mean, look at the difference in the pigment. Look at this. Look at how bright that color is. All right, like that. Yeah, for sure. Holbein will do it. Okay. Here's a little yellow oxide too. Put a little bit of that in there. But yeah, you can't beat. White would have been. You're absolutely right. White would have been the best. Okay, so now I'm going to get a palette knife. We can answer questions while I'm doing that, because this is going to be like watching grass grow, watching me put these flowers in.
Is this going in the green area?
Yeah, it's all going in here. So we want a little bit of ultramarine blue and white. And we're just going to... You do not want a white flower. It's really kind of... It looks white, but it's really a kind of a very, very pale light blue. Now here's a little trick. We're going to just take the... Do you see me do that? With the... Put the paint on the... palette knife, and then you just use that as a little little miniature palette. Let's see, Using
a palette knife for a palette.
Use a palette knife for a palette, and I want something a little darker here too. I want 2 colors of this. So here you go. I'll put that right there. Okay. So now, yeah, that's so some of these are a little darker than others.
Kelly would like to know, Ginger, what is your favorite painting of the ODG? And your paintings, what is your one that made you love art?
You know, when I was a kid, I lived. I was born in Seattle, Washington, and I lived in a really on Volunteer Avenue. Let's see, Volunteer Avenue, I think was the name of the street. It was behind Volunteer. No, it was Federal Avenue on Volunteer State Park. I think that was the address somewhere. And behind this park, this beautiful park, and the Museum of Fine Art was through the park and across the road and up some steps. And every Saturday, my governess would take my sister and I to the art museum, and we would look at all the paintings, and we'd see it like a documentary movie, some kind of movie like that. And then we would so there was something that I just so admired all the paintings. That's really got me going with art. I wanted to be an artist seeing all those paintings. But my favorite thing was there was this miniature bottle, a perfume bottle collection from China. All these, something like might go in a dollhouse, and they were so decorative, so gorgeous. Really liked that. Looked like those little bottles. Okay, so these flowers aren't particularly round. They're sort of all different shapes, but this is kind of what he did, and they're all little dots. So don't just make round circles and spots and then write me and say, I don't understand why mine doesn't look like yours. You've got to give them a little room to play here. Okay? Because he spent a lot more time doing little dots than I'm doing for you guys either. If you see the original on this, you'll see a lot more little dots. But I think you get the feeling of it anyway, the painting. I think it's still pretty. I mean, could you do more? Sure. You know, so we're just filling in the dots next to the picture here, and just sort of creating some flowers. I would say that was, in my childhood, I would say that was one of the advantages of being able to see. You know, most little kids, when they're 2 and 3 and 5, are not exposed to art the way I was. Which is kind of neat too. I think I want some of this blue color, some of these flowers too. Just a little bit of this blue color, just in this one here. Okay, put a little of that blue color in there, just to sort of tie it in. See, this is sort of fun, right? It's just easier to do this. All right, it's been 11 minutes. Are we up for an art tip?
Oh, I'm sure we are.
Okay, so, well, I think this was a pretty good art tip, don't you?
Yeah,
Using
right
a palette knife. And then John and I got a longer one. We bought this when we were at the art store on sale, because if you, something like this, it has a handle like that, and I thought this would be perfect for that on a big easel. A lot of different
colors and stuff.
Put a lot of colors on that. As opposed to, I've seen people, one of the things I saw people do is I've seen people, because acrylics really don't run, I've seen them tape the back of this as a vertical, put the palette vertical next to their easel. I've seen some of the artists do that. I guess I believe in gravity. I don't think it will run. I'm not real comfortable doing that. I like just holding up the palette like this, having the little palette knife better, particularly when you've got to do a lot of one color. You notice this sort of these little shapes here we're doing. Okay. Okay, let's see, what do we got down in here? Just something. We'll come back with some little grasses and little greenery, but I figure we can always paint over these little dots. So we've got these up here, and I want. Let's see. Okay, let's just come up here, kind of connect these. Bring this up here like that. Maybe take a little of this color right here. Not much on the brush. Okay, like that.
Do you have a part number and number of brush you're using? That's around what?
This is should be a 000. Usually when they're like that, they're zeros. This is a, I think it's probably worn off by now, 3 zeros. It's a silver brush, 3 zeros. They're round. I don't normally use, these little detail brushes are not, it's for me as friendly as, here I'm going to put a little more blue with this now. Go back with a few little, let's see, a little bit of phthalo with it. That was ultramarine here, okay? We're going to go back with a few little accent darker colors in here. A little bit of shadows. It's just, they're not particularly all white flowers. Okay, everybody's with me on that, right?
Hey,
If you look, what?
Like to thank Laura for the donation.
Oh, thank you very much, Laura. That's very nice. Appreciate it very much. Okay, so, all right, so at this point, if you look really closely at his, and I've got a picture of his going right close, he's got some brown in there too. Well, naturally, because they're starting to die. Just, sorry. I feel like they are, right? So at this point, what I want to do is put some greenery in here. So I'm going to take some phthalo blue and yellow oxide. Okay. Kind of mix that up. And I want to put a little greenery right around here. Like now, this is pretty, I'm using this little brush and dropping the paint because otherwise I'll mix it into these light colors. But I've got, that yellow oxide is goopy as opposed to goofy. It's goopy. There's a little bit of the green here. Probably, let's just be safe and dry it, because if you do that and you mess it up, you'll blame me. Let's dry it. You can show someone else's work. I will dry it.
Is this a long dry or short dry?
Let's just a long dry. Go ahead.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
okay with that?
Yep, go. All right, while she's doing that, let's bring this painting over. This is by Denise Parson. She's a YouTube viewer, and this is one of our YouTube lessons. Snowy Bridge, I believe is what we called this lesson. Beautifully done. She's got good tonalities in the snow. The bridge is covered and straight. Excellent job on that one in particular. Next one is going to be a series of lessons. So Denise, thank you very much for letting us share on your Snowy Bridge. This next one, this is Ginger's, one of our original wave and water classes, and it was called Sunset, I think Sunset on the Ocean or Sunset something like that, or Angry Seas, something like that. So that is the original. This is what it looks like in black and white. So you want to keep these in mind. So that's what this person's supposed to look like. Now, before the pack, we had Janet Stewart send her artwork, and this is her before. All right. Now let's take a look at her before black and white. So we're always looking for the contrast, the balance and the contrast.
Just add me to the conversation now.
Okay, you're on. I did.
So
I showed your original first, both color and black and white. Then I did Janice's color and black and white before, and now I'm on the afters.
I mean, this is terrific. This is what personal art coaching, when we do personal art coaching, this is what we do. We sit there and show you black and white of what you've got, and then I'll make a suggestion on how to, how to get the contrast. And if you really, this is really your tip for the 11 minutes here, is that don't just do a black and white picture of your painting. Do the one black and white of the image that's your reference, whether it's one of my paintings or a photograph, doesn't really matter what it is. Get a black and white photo of what you're painting from and the image, and then start comparing the contrast. And before you decide, let's take this one further, before you decide to paint something, if you're looking at a photograph, look at a black and white of it. Does it have an interesting pattern to it? Is there something you're going to have to correct? All those things. So while John's still showing you that, you talk about that. You still talking about that, John, a little bit?
Nope, we just finished up. Here's her black and white after. You saw her color while Ginger was talking, and here's the black and white after. An excellent job, as you can see, the improvements that the PAC did for her.
The PAC is short for Personal Art Coaching.
PAC.
Okay.
All right, you're back to normal.
Just going back to kind of, I'm getting a little closer to the vase now.
Interesting way to do background.
And yeah, well, it is. It was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you had to kind of do it that way. Okay, so here's this. Here we go, and I'll now I kind of tune in the vase a little bit. You can fine tune the vase. Maybe just
We're
give
getting
it.
a little bit of static on your headset for some reason once in a while.
Interesting. Okay. So you guys, you saw where we kind of dried all this, right? So that because I want to go back with a little bit of the green, phthalo blue and yellow, and maybe a little yellow oxide. Make some greens. I don't want to mix it up very much. And I want to come in here and bring some green. And this is a small little angle brush now. I want some greenery going up like this to these flowers. And put enough yellow in it where you can see it like this. And let's get a darker green. You add a little purple to green and make it darker too. Want something darker under here. Something like that. And this, I'm just poking a few holes in here with the green. A couple of places. It's not too much. Don't overdo it. No, let's get those green leaves. You can do yellow and Southern Ocean blue too. That's pretty. Makes a nice deep dark green. And maybe something here on this one. Down behind the vase. So you want, just a couple green leaves. Yeah, don't have to overdo it, but just a couple in there like that. And then I'm going to rinse that. I'm going to put that little dot thing. Oh. And I got to tell you, we have a lot of people. We have some wonderful folks out here watching us live. If you have not seen this series I've got, these 8-minute videos, if you like these little tips, Ginger's Gems are the things to watch. I've got them on a playlist. You can see newest videos, 12 newest videos on the front page of YouTube. You'll see Ginger's Gems. Take a minute, watch those. I'm surprised we don't have as many views on those because really they're the kinds of things you can save to a playlist. They're just really, really very fast, helpful hints. Everything from how to draw an oval to what happens to shadows in the morning at night. When do shadows get longer? Just really interesting things. We add a new one every Wednesday. I think you'd really enjoy them if you get a chance to see them. All right, so somebody asked about the white. I'm going to put white in here because I want yellow in the center of this flower eventually. And I want a little bit of white here. Okay, now we're going to take some of this yellow color again, yeah? And I want maybe some orange. Let's make a little cad red thing here like that. Let's get some of this orange color, right? I want a few little dots of this orange color. And right up in here, I want to come up and say that there's a bit of this yellow flower. Let's grab some yellow paint, pretty thick here. Let's grab the whole vine. I can do that one. Right up in here, I want to suggest that there's the little flower that went right here. Wasn't much of one, and then a little bit of brighter orange here. Came down here like that. Where was that cad yellow light? I think I showed you guys that. I think I put green with it though. That you can just add white to yellow if you don't have that. It's a nice color to have though. Now we're going to put that, a little drop of that right here on this flower. Some of this brighter color here. And then back to, see, I'm going back into my, you asked about not painting over white, or something dark. And you're right, they don't show up as well. So it is sometimes nicer to do that. And let's start with a little, but we got a yellow orange center here and one on this flower right here. Like that, little orange center on that flower. Which is kind of cool, right? And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, here we go, you guys. Remember I told you that we had all these little bits of yellow and orange dots, and they go in different directions, but they're pretty level. And let's see, I want a different palette knife, and I'm just going to use that as a here. Okay, that should give me enough leeway here to do this and to bunch of little. See, I've got the different colors on here, and put the little petals or whatever's on his. I don't think it's paint. I mean, these were all over his little table. Okay, so it kind of came around here. His table was a little bit rounder than I made my base a little rounder than his. I probably should fix that. He actually had, no fairness, he actually had the bottom of this smaller.
I see you have your desk leaning a little bit, like he did.
Yeah, I gave it a slight angle, but not as exaggerated as his.
No, his was a little bit
His
steeper.
was really exaggerated. It just, quite frankly, really bothered me. Okay.
So you kind of compromised between the first one and the second one.
Yeah, just a little bit, but not as much. Okay, so we're just going to start putting these little petals. Try to keep them straight. If you make them polka dot, they're going to look odd. If you do little dots, you're gonna. I don't understand why it doesn't look like yours, because his are little tiny, little like dashes, and they're just all go in this direction with a small brush. You could almost just put some music on and do these. I'll tell you what, you just paint to the beat here, and you'd get them in here. So while I'm doing that, any questions?
Well, John moved the camera. John pulled the camera back. So I think I've already done all that, because I'm all the way back out again. Other than that, I don't think I have anything for you. I am looking. Let me.
Oh, and then last Friday, we started to talk about that. Last Friday, I showed you guys how to fix. I never finished that sentence. Got sidetracked. I showed you guys, this is kind of coming in this way. I showed you guys how to fix a bad painting. There were a couple of paintings that I was going to throw out because I didn't like them, and I showed you how to fix them. And,
that was on our art hall video.
Yeah, because I thought the art hall video by itself. My daughter Cinnamon says, "Oh, you got to show everybody what you got at the art store." And I'm going, "I don't know why anybody cares, Cinnamon. What are you talking about? You know?" And she, "Oh no, everybody will care." I'm going, "Really?" So apparently people did find it interesting what we bought. I didn't know half the stuff John had bought, so when we were unwrapping it, I found it interesting too. We got that. Look at that, right? Look at that. Do you have that paper I said, the brush one? Remember we bought that stuff that was the brush tester?
I do.
You want to show that? I want to show that.
It's not designed for paint, though, I don't believe.
No, you use water with it.
I'm just reminding you.
I know, you're going to put paint on it. I was the one that told you that.
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, do you think I'd forget what I told you?
Yes.
Wow, you guys. He thinks I'd forget what I told you. I want a little brown color in here, too.
Where will we put that?
I think it's over to the left.
My left or your left?
Over there. I'll put a little of this dark color. Okay, now.
You think the staff would clean up this pigsty?
Don't say that. People will know we have a pigsty. You don't want to let that out, do you?
Oink, oink. Oink, oink.
All right, so now the trick is, this is a little bright. So I'm going to take a little yellow ox, a little bit of burnt sienna, and just paint a couple of those out. Or you could glaze over it when it was done, too. You don't want them all bright yellow. You want some mostly brown with a few little orange and yellow ones sticking up.
Should got a couple of these things.
Okay.
I read the directions.
Did you? Mm-hmm. It's just for water,
Of course I
right?
did. Yes, just water. It can be used thousands of times.
Yeah, it can be used thousands and thousands of times. All right, so there's that,
Let's say
right?
thousands and thousands. Let's say thousands.
Okay, and then there's some of this color up in here, too. Okay, up in the flowers. Not a lot, but some. So as long as you're happily, as opposed to being unhappy about it, doing these. You know, this one here. There was a little bit of these colors up here and there in these flowers. It's freezing in this house.
You know what we should have done?
Turn up the heat.
Oh, there's two in here.
Okay.
So we can each have one.
Okay.
Do you think there's an up and a down?
Okay. So now you guys know acrylics dry darker, yeah? And so what Van Gogh said was that he had because you're going, well, where's his shadow? He's got kind of this dark shadow here. And then he said back here, I'm taking a little purple and brown. And back here is along behind it. is where he decided that he's saying his shadow is on the vase. So we're coming in like that, right at the waist of it, and then back along this wall. So he's saying that the light's kind of coming from the front and then causing a shadow behind the vase, which is interesting. Very unusual way to light something, but anyway, that's what he said happened, okay? So that's where the shadow is on this, in case you were wondering, because there is a little tiny bit under the rim, and then in a few places he breaks up. Now this is important. He'll break up, you know, you put all these little dots on here, and then you break some up with some dark. Come back and you erase a few. That to me is easier than trying to figure out. You just put a few holes in here occasionally. Come back and do something like that. So that's his vase. Now I was going to show you this. I want this to dry for a second, and then I'm going to show you this. This was one of the things we got at the art store. And this is paper. This is called this is brush testing paper.
It is called brushstroke practice paper, and it is specially coated paper, allows artists to practice techniques and brushstrokes with water. After use, the water will evaporate without a trace. Can be used thousands of times, thousands of practice strokes.
Okay, so that's what a bright brush will do. Now let me show you what an angle brush will do. And also it'll kind of tell you whether your brush is in good shape too. Okay, so here's an angle brush. Look at here. Look at how I can take it up like this. Make it go flat. We should put some of this in our store. We should find this and put it in our store.
It's very handy.
Well, yeah, because if you're trying to, you know, when you're talking about the brush strokes. Now, what are the brush strokes that we were doing tonight for the
short little quickies like
there
that?
were these things. That's what we were doing when we did the leaf. We were doing that. See how we just started spinning this around?
You make that look so easy.
Well, that's where the master part comes in. Not just be smarty.
Now, what side of the paper are you
everybody
on?
challenges that statement. Where does this lady get off with that? But actually, that was one of my publishers who was so impressed with the work and the award that won, you know, started referring to me as the master acrylic
Flip
artist.
that piece of paper over.
What's it? I'm on the wrong side?
I don't know. I want to see if it does it on both sides.
No.
Well,
Does it?
well, I don't know.
I guess it does.
Well, it hasn't evaporated yet.
Maybe that was the right side. I think they should write right or wrong on something like
There
this.
it goes. It evaporates. So you can go either side.
It said you could go either side, okay?
So now you have 2,000 times of uses.
Well, so that's what this does. If you're wondering and you want to get better at your brush strokes, so you want to figure out how, does it easier for you for an angle brush, you push hard and lift up. Here's a leaf.
Well, we'll add that to our Amazon store for sure.
Look at that. See, isn't that cool with the grass? Lift up.
So you could do that all day long and don't feel like you're wasting paint.
You could, and if you're just on the phone with someone doodling, you could practice that, right?
You could doodle it.
You could doodle it.
I like that.
All right, so back to this. Well, you didn't want to see it, didn't you? Because you said you wanted to see what we bought. We bought that. Okay, so, see.
So maybe it's your hair.
What?
Hitting the microphone.
Hello.
No. Your hair. Hello. Well, hi, how are you? Will you say hello? Does your hair go?
So kind of you to ask, old boy. Here. How's that?
Do you see where the black cord is?
Here.
Wiggle it. Okay, is that the black cord? That's the microphone.
Hello.
No, I think it is your hair.
Oh, well, all right. We're back to the white, right, you guys?
Back to the white.
And we're going to do a few white dots. Remember, we did the off-white. Remember the blue? So now we're going to do... Whoop. You go away. I just baptized you in paint. Didn't mean to do that. All right. All right, so now I want a little white paint. Okay? With me? Now we're going to take a little white paint and do a few little white dots in a couple places, right? To just sort of jazz it up a bit. Remember? Like that.
Jazz it up.
Okay, so we're just going to say that kind of the light's hitting here. Don't do it everywhere. Make it a section where the light's hitting. Like that. Okay, so everybody's good with this? I think we're pretty close to done here on finished. You know, maybe you want to just make sure I've got a nice light highlight on the vase like he did. And but I would say that this is we don't have to do too much. If you're not sure about this, let's see, where'd that Southern Ocean blue go? Oh, here. You know, you could always come back. Here's the thing. Here's what we did. The reason we gave it a little room, I forgot to tell you this. The reason we gave this a little room, right, was so that you could, he had next to these flowers, he had some shadows, okay, that were a little darker than the rest of it, okay? So like back up in here and over here, if you need to break up a flower or something, you know, maybe make a better petal, you can do that if everything's dry. And then like back up in here, he had little bits of dark where these little flowers were.
You know, you're working on the finished product that you did yesterday.
Oh, am I? Oh,
Well, that one's signed.
I forgot. Oh, there we go. Thanks. Oh, that's better. Yeah, thanks, John.
Well, that
All
wasn't
right.
me. That was them saying, hey, wrong picture.
Thank you.
That one's signed already.
Yeah, okay, so look, all right, so I'm going to come up here and do this. Oh, and I'm going to come up here and do this. That's why I still had the white. That's why. Okay, I was wondering why. I thought I remember doing all that white.
Somebody would like to know, would this translate to a finger painted one like you did the last one?
No, because of all these little dots.
You have to have very little, teeny little
I don't think
fingers.
so. This really wouldn't translate at all into a finger painting. This is definitely Impressionism for sure. And here we go up here like that. And a few little light dots in places. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and take this darker blue around the flowers, and then I come up here where it's light again, and just come back here. You can come back and keep adding the little light colors now again too. See, we got pretty close here, but now's the time to take maybe just a smaller brush and start adding these little brush strokes. Okay. He actually did his in rows, almost like it was wallpaper, but I'm not interested in doing that. It looked a little boring to me, but it's okay. There's a tendency for artists to, let's see, that's too dark, it's too light. Let's get some of this color in here like this. There's a tendency for artists to just get very literal about whatever they're looking at. Okay, so I'm going to just make a little space between here and that flower there. Just you can come back with the blue, and you can give yourself, if you needed to just give yourself a little room here with these flowers. You can, and again they can be very dark. Back up in here, just around them, he had them very dark, so you'd see them. And like around here like that. They're almost a halo of dark, okay? That's what this was, almost a halo of dark. And I'm going to make this flower a little shorter. Got that a little big. That's all right. I know how to erase it. And put some little bit lighter with it over here like that. Like I say, this flower got just a bit big, but that's all right. So now is the time to sort of reshape it. All right, and this is a perfect color to do that with. For instance, you see that this is you see these three in a row here. I'm going to make a little more space between those, so that they're not quite the same shape. You can take, what I like about this this technique is you can go back and kind of reshape your background. If you lost a shape or, something, got, maybe I want to bring this flower out a little more. I can then come back and add a dot up here like this. I just don't want them all the same shape here. I'm going to bring this one up and say there's just a little one up here like that. Okay.
I think next painting you want to do is a pointillism.
Well, I don't think we have enough time to do that, something like that, right? But again, people say, well, you know, what are you talking about? And you can. Here's a little purple.
Basically, what you're doing is making a monitor.
Basically, what I'm doing now is just adding a little bit of drops of purple in here, like that, kind of near the yellow. I wanted something pretty dark green here on this vase. And here was, remember I told you the purple had sort of a dark outline. So I can do that here on this flower again. Because then it got very dark next to here like that. So I kind of fixed that flower. And again, this seems like a pretty straight line here. So I'm going to just sort of change that a little bit. And again, your little brush strokes, your final brush strokes can be very small. Because you can go back over this and kind of, you know, layers are not a problem with something like this. You want the layers. Okay. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. That got a little light up here. Let's break that up. Well, again, between the two of them, you can kind of see how to paint it. I think we're pretty close to done for tonight. You can kind of see how you would paint it.
I like it.
And I think we'll just call this one finished. If you got this too bright, right, like this, what I would do later is dry it. Maybe I should show you how to glaze it. Should I show them how to glaze it? How are we doing on time? Let's just let this sit. If it dries, at the end of the show, I'll show you how to glaze it. How's that? We're going to come back and we're going to start our 10-minute video. And remember,
10-minute video?
I'm sorry, 10-minute painting. Well, it's a video while we're painting it.
It is going to be a video while we're painting it.
So that's not totally untrue, right?
No. No?
Yes and yes?
Yes and yes.
So, yeah, that's yes, what I thought,
yes,
right?
Maybe.
It's a 10-minute painting.
I thought you were... Okay, I'm confused.
I know. I just see one thing. I see one thing. Don't you ever do that?
No, I don't ever see one thing. I see many things.
I just see one thing here. There. I'm just going to take that one out a little bit. Okay. Just saw one thing. Had to go. Had to go. I saw one thing. Had to go. And I kind of lost a little green here. I'm going to put a little green back up here. There. Okay, that needs to be darker. There. I'm sorry. Had to have the green back. We lost it, you guys. There. All right, done. Okay, so Van Gogh's vase goes away, and we're going to do something that the live audience can watch and enter to win. And then I will go back and show you how you might glaze that. How's that?
Sounds like a winner.
Well, let's see. I don't have any...
I took everything away from you.
You took all my toys away. Should we do another one of those fix-it-uppers? Let me grab me a pile?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Nothing too fast? All right, just hand me something. I don't care. Whatever you hand me, I'll go with it. Just don't have anything on it.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, okay. Just hand me something that... that's interesting, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now that is interesting, isn't it? The screen? I think that's very interesting. Don't you guys think so? So what can we do with that? I don't know. What could we do with that? I say, let's
put our practice paper away.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do something like this. All right. Let's do something like this.
Oh, let's put the link out there so people know what to do.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so the link is on the screen, and the gals, I'm sure, will throw the link into the chat in a moment.
All right.
If you'd like to win this on the live show, please do so at this time. Enter. Can you make wet brush strokes on any paper? Well, nobody's going to stop you. The question is, will you be able to see them?
No, that was special paper.
This is paper so you can see it.
Yeah, we actually bought that. That wasn't just any old piece of paper.
No, and that's what we put a link into it. There's a link to our Amazon store. I don't think I'm going to get that back in there. Secret word for the day.
Now, I have no idea what we're painting here. This is just, we're just winging this, you guys.
You don't know what you're painting. It looks like a vase so far.
Yeah, but I don't know anything else about it. I've just, so far it's a vase. Go with it,
You don't have
John.
anything in your head?
No, nothing.
Oh.
Nothing. Usually, since I'll have an idea before the show, something I could do, but, you know, we got a late start today, so I have no idea.
And whose fault was it we had a late start?
Not mine.
Nope, it'd be mine.
Not
I was there
mine.
making t-shirts.
It's all right. Don't you think our t-shirts, did you show the t-shirts?
I did.
Don't you guys, don't you think that, don't you think the t-shirts are cool, you guys?
Where'd my t-shirts go? There they are. Let's pop those babies back up there. There we are. Now each of these styles, each of the t-shirts, each of the varieties are available in all the different varieties of t-shirts. The tank top, the V-neck, the standard t-shirt, and the long sleeve. So just because you see one way doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get it. All shirts are available in all the varieties.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So, you know, which is interesting in itself, right? There.
Well, it is.
So
We've got two more ready to go up. Well, not ready to go up, they'd be up. Maybe tonight.
And how long does it take to get a t-shirt? Because they make them on demand.
They make them on demand. They usually print them like every 3 days. If they have orders for them, they print them every 3 days. So, where's the next one? That's a good one. The Woody car, a classic. The cat did it. I scarfed that painting up.
Yeah, John. That's one of John's favorite paintings.
I scarfed it.
Absolutely, that's just one of his famous paintings. So, any questions?
John, can you see when someone buys from your store? Hopefully, thank you, John, in advance. We can tell that people have bought things, but we can't tell who.
No, they don't.
But we know what the items that are popular with our peeps, which helps us for letting you guys
it's
know.
interesting, and we did it. We did it. You know, when we first did the store, our main goal was just total convenience. You know what I mean? To make it easier. I mean, people say, "What did you get?" You know, even if it's the hair colors I use when I travel or whatever. This is what we got, and Amazon made it sort of. Amazon made it really nice for us to be able to. Where's that phthalo green? We're just going to use that, just not fool around. Okay. I mean, they really did. Amazon made it some really nice ability for us to in other words, when we help promote them, they help promote us. How's that?
Yeah. The t-shirt link. Let's pop that up there for a moment. It's pretty simple. It's gingercooklive.gallery/t-shirts.
And also, it's right there on YouTube underneath.
Yeah, it's right in the description. It's supposed to be down there. Let me see. If you scroll down in your description, if you're on your computer, you can see the t-shirts are listed right there. Just click on any one of them, that'll take you over to the store. Good point there, Bubba Louie.
What?
Mentioning that it's right there in the description now. That's something new that they just started. They being YouTube.
Yep.
Remember, auction is going to be starting Friday, and we may be doing something special. So you might want to make sure you are subscribed to our channel so you'll be notified if we do something.
Well, and this has come up before, so I want to mention this too. Some people have very much said that they're subscribed to a channel and they never get any notifications, right? And even though they push that little bell thingy. So my suggestion is, and I don't know if it's valid or not, but we have suggested you try to go back up and unsubscribe and subscribe again.
Unsubscribe for a day, come back in, then resubscribe. And that has reset other people we've tried it with, they got back to us and said, yes, that does really work.
Why couldn't they just do it immediately? That doesn't help?
I would give it a day just for the whole system to update.
Yeah?
Just how computers work, they get updated.
Well, I don't want everybody to unsubscribe and then they'll go forget and then we'll just have a low subscriber count because they forgot to resubscribe.
Okay, try it Ginger's way first. Do it real quick, and if it doesn't work, then do it my way.
Yeah, so let's not tell people to unsubscribe and that's a bad idea, Okay. So far, yes and yes?
Yep, yes and yes. Do you have XX small? I don't think so. You would have, no. I think it goes to small. I don't know, you click on them. All colors are not available in all styles, and each size has they have the colors and they don't, so it lets you know. I guess I could pop over real quick and look at a t-shirt. Storefront. Pick a shirt. And remember, the Tech Bear did a video on how to do this, which he probably has to update now because we changed it. Let's take a regular t-shirt. It has a small. Extra small is available in the V-neck, but not 2X small. Just an extra small. A small for the premium long sleeve, and extra small on the tank top. And again, just because your size could be dimmed, change the color because all colors are available in all sizes. Oh, I like that. This is like it's like one of the cartoons I used to watch, that kind of art.
Really?
Yeah.
You're trying to be insulting?
No, I love my cartoons.
That's just good to know.
It's 2X the largest. No, some of them have a 4X. I think the premium, it goes up to a 3X. Again, it depends. You have to pick the color that will have that size. The purple does. Oh, there's an extra small in one of the colors. Probably the white. No, we don't do white.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
The green is black. Black does extra small. Sorry, I was excited for a moment.
No, I'm just going to say that people ask about a white T-shirt. You'll always see me in a black T-shirt because if I travel, even if I spill on it, which is probably a big chance I will, it'll still look good, right? Does that make sense?
It does to me.
Okay, so let's. I'm liking that. See,
John,
I'm having fun with this, right?
Have you fixed the vase? What vase? Not this one. This one is. John, the XS is weirdly at the. I know. I don't know why it's there. I think it's an afterthought. They just did an upgrade. Teespring just did an upgrade on their website, and be honest, it's screwy. I had a problem putting these shirts back in there, but it goes up to 3X. I thought something last time we had up to 4X, but 3X looks like the biggest it goes to right now.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of nice. Yeah.
The t-shirts do not run small. They run as advertised. And again, if you look at these t-shirts, you have one that says, right where it says fit regular fit, unisex, see more details. Click the fit more details, and it will give you the dimensions of the t-shirt so you can measure your little measure your body and see if it matches, because they do work. Unlike one that we got from, who's that one you got one? The same size, and it was,
yeah,
it was like an inch and a half off.
There were some ones I bought on Amazon, just some cute artist t-shirts I thought were real cute. I bought them on Amazon, and I was really, extremely disappointed that they didn't They didn't fit, even though it's, you know, they should have. And they were just, you know what it was, is they were cut too tight under the arms for me. You know, they were a men's t-shirt, but they didn't allow for you know, chest, you know, female chest. How's that? So then they didn't fit right. So our t-shirts, what I like about the t-shirts is they actually do fit.
Yeah, I do an XL. These baby came in XL. They fit perfect. I even have one on now. How do I look? See? Can't even tell.
See, and I was going to wear one, but mine are all really nice. I have just the birthday bash left. We've got the new ones coming, and I didn't want to mess it up, get paint on it, because I mean, evidently I get paint on stuff, right?
If you want to see an XL, go to Premium T-shirt, select a black, and then do your size. That black is available in every single flavor of size. If you select another color, it may not be available in that size, but black is available in all sizes.
So they know how to enter this to win this, right?
Yeah. Well, let's see if we have any entries. Maybe we don't have any entries. Nobody wants to win it. Where's my form? Oh, I don't know where it went to.
You don't have a form up?
246 people have entered so far.
Okay.
So somebody's figured out how to do it. Some of the links below are the campaign has ended because we took those down. That was the birthday bash ones, but you should be in the store to get to our current listings. And we just did this, so that again needs to be processed probably through the next few days before that gets fully updated. Things don't happen instantly like people think.
I don't understand why not.
I don't either. Yeah, so the birthday bash shirts are no longer available for the 2019 birthday bash. 2020 hasn't been announced as of yet. As Judy's mentioned there, if you haven't given a thumbs up, throw us a thumbs up if you would. Let us know that you love us. She's using that special color that she'll tell you about right now, which is?
This is called Holbein Luminous Yellow. Isn't it kind of a bright, cool color?
I call it fluorescent. It's really cool. I mean, if you want to really kick in some color, that does it.
I just think it's pretty, right? They've got a pink one too that's really nice that I like too. They're not against the pink either.
The Holbein makes some beautiful paint.
They have some of the best pigments. For instance, I'm not sure that I like the orange in there, but I might like the pink, right? So the pink with white might be pretty. Oh, it is. Look at that. Pink with a little white.
Yeah, if you're one of the people that have a birthday bash t-shirt from 2019,
you've got a collector's item.
You got a collector's item there. John, do you have a birthday bash? No, I don't get a birthday bash. I get nothing.
His choice.
I have nothing to offer.
That's not true. It's his choice.
Dang, long sleeve black, can't get any size to register. Let me take a quick look. Like I said, they just updated their website, so some things may not be working on their site. Where's my page go?
Well, I'm having a lot of fun with this flower.
Let's go long sleeve.
I like the center of this. I think I may put the orange back, but I wanted to try it with just the pink. I'll put a little of that orange back. I'm going to put a little daub of that in there.
Black has got small. If you do I think that's the Heather Gray. Heather Gray has all the sizes. And the darker gray has all the sizes. So I'm not sure what you're doing. Long sleeved. On the puppy dog. I'm on Pat the dog, but should be the same. Becky would like to know, can we do a birthday bash cruise once per quarter? If you guys can catch up to us, yes, we'd love to have you.
Well, that was so fun. I mean, I got to say, that was
a great time. Birthday bash. You know, I ought to do that. A birthday bash with Art's tractor on it. Special edition. That'd be a limited run.
Well, it's Art's picture. You better get permission.
I will. I think he'd be honored.
Well, all right. I just wanted to.
Yeah, my Facebook page says I think I'm 104 right now. All right, let's finish up on those entries, folks.
All right, I think that's it, you guys. There's my picture. Kind of like that. I might do some lighter greens, yellow greens. I think I need some lighter yellow greens here too.
Last call for entries to win this marvelous, one-of-a-kind, never repeated flower vase. Unlike the fishy eye.
Yeah. Oh, see, look at that. Look what that did. Just putting in that little bit of bright green right there. See what a difference that made? Look at that. That's fun. What I love about doing these, right, and I got to tell you, what I absolutely love about doing these is the idea that they're just sort of spontaneous, out of your head, very fast pictures. And I love that. I think that's really cool about them. And then, you know, what to do with the purple vase.
A birthday bash in Vegas. If you can get a cruise ship there, buddy.
I don't know.
We are all over it.
Yeah, I'm just, yeah, okay.
Hey, if they get a cruise ship to go there.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right, you guys, that's what I've got here. Nice flower vase, nice little highlights.
All right, entries, final call, final call. The end of the calls. There'll be no more calls.
Yep. Put a few little of these green leaves down here at the bottom, because that's always fun.
Because they always fall off as you're painting, right?
Yeah, well, they do, right? But just...
Hey, Art finally showed off. Hey, Art, can I use the tractor painting for a t-shirt?
He's thinking about it. You don't have to answer now, Art.
Yeah, you don't have to answer right now, Art. No pressure, buddy.
Oh. Let's see, what was that? I didn't want that color. All right, almost done, you guys. I just see one thing I want to do, and my blue's contaminated. This is how we go out of stuff. So I have to say that look for some big doings in April.
Big what?
Big doings in April.
Oh, big doings.
Big doings in April. And
you can't say too much more, I don't
Can't say
think.
too much more about that, but look doing. And even though John and I are in and out of April, you know, we're here and not and stuff like that, we're part of the big doings when that gets announced.
Whatever they may be.
Okay, let me just, there we go.
Lake Mead used to have an old-fashioned
I'm sorry,
riverboat.
just had to tighten that up a bit, you guys. Because now that I've done it, there we go. There, oh, nice, I like that. Put a little bit of this color down here, too, because I like it. Sort of this puddly blue color.
That's the other ginger. Where else can I use this color?
That's kind of it, too. It's just, where else can I use this color? I like all this sort of lime green color. That's not a color I normally paint with, right?
That is very pretty.
I think it's nice. And, you know, I do. I kind of like the, you know, the light, dark colors of this.
Art says absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Art. Okay, let's just sort of break that up a little bit here. There you go. All right, done it. All right, I'm signing it. That's it, you guys. I hope you like the 10 minute. I think this has had a chance to dry, so I'm gonna show you the glaze real quick while he's drawing for this picture. Remember, I told you I thought this was too bright. So what you do is you take something like satin glazing medium. Okay. Let me put these palette knives away because they've got paint on them. And I'm going to show you that. That's something you can do with that. Put about a tablespoon out of this, assuming you can get it out. Here, let's clear it out. Okay. And then what I will do is I will take just a little bit of burnt sienna, okay, in this color, all right? Just, and I'm just going to glaze over that, like that. Just tone that back just a hair, see? Doesn't take much. Sometimes that's all you need to do. And if you got carried away and you wanted a little darker, you could put a little ultramarine blue in a glaze. Not very much now. It's a little bit ultramarine blue. And so if you say you wanted, say, this side a little bit darker, it's not quite so bright, you just glaze over that with a little bit of ultramarine blue in glazing medium. See? And that's tones those leaves back. They're still there. They're still here, okay? But it puts like a little haze on them, like you were putting a strip of cellophane on top. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So that, you guys, is our painting for the night. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do another live show Monday. Maybe something's happening Friday. So make sure you're subscribed because our auction's starting. So probably, we'll probably do some sort of little auction boost on Friday. This is where you go back and you hit the yellow again, the light yellow probably, like that. A few little dabs if you've lost your color. And if you had painted it white first, this wouldn't have happened. But just saying, right? And here, I want a little bit of yellow, a little bit of light yellow here. Okay, and I want some light right up here. Want this to be lighter right up here. Come back, and acrylic's dry darker, so you can come back and pop a few flowers. I swear where all these little bits of yellow we had, these were all flowers that croaked. I just know it. And this is what happened to them. They're all down here on the floor. But that's okay. We can live with that, right? And so I hope you had fun with this. And hey, John's going to go ahead and do the drawing now.
Okay. We have got a total of 279 entries. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 279.
Your random number between 1 and 279 is 8.
8? Really? Okay, we have a winner.
We do.
We do. What are we calling this painting, please? Angela Bassett.
Angela, I don't know what we call it. What should we call it, you guys?
Who took my text box? There it is.
This almost feels like a St. Patrick's Day vase, doesn't it, with all the green?
Yeah, it really does.
Just, how about Irish vase?
Irish what?
Irish vase.
Irish vase.
Let's call it
we
that.
can do that.
Even though it's blue. So it makes no sense, but it sounds right, doesn't it?
Angela Bassett is the winner.
All right, and let's all right, the next thing, because you guys were so patient, we're going to do, if you guys have probably heard of our downloadable videos that we have on a special website called gingercookondemand.com. This is where you actually own the videos, and they're labeled. These are 1, 2, or 3 credit lessons. We will be doing a 1 credit, which is about 20 of those, right? 1 credit lesson. We're going to do a drawing for a 1 credit lesson. You go to Ginger Cook On Demand, tell us which one you want, email us, and we'll send you the secret code so that you can own that lesson forever. gingercookondemand.com. So that's what the next. You guys were so nice as to
hang in there.
Hang in there for us, right? We're going to go ahead and
Alexa,
do that.
pick a number between 1 and 279.
Your random number between 1 and 279 is 124.
That's somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Susan Gardner. Downloadable.
Susan, what have you got there?
All right, so Susan Gardner, you are the winner of the downloadable.
Congratulations. Well, you know, I could play a lot more with this, but I'm going to put the brush down because we said it was 10 minutes, so that's what I came up with in 10 minutes. Part of me wants to just keep adding and
Susan,
playing.
if you need help figuring out how to do that or have questions about that, please let us know.
And so congratulations, Susan, on that. John, let's do one more because we've had all these people standing in line here.
Well, we'd like to thank, what's the gal? Birthday bash? Sharon. Sharon, who donated some of these downloadable lessons.
Yes, Sharon donated some. Yeah, Sharon. We want to thank Sharon for donating. So, Sharon Poof, right, for donating some of these downloadable lessons. Puff.
Poof.
What color Poof is Puff?
I call
All right, thank Sharon Puff. So let's do one more. Downloadable lesson.
This time. Echo. Pick a number between 1 and 279.
Your random number between 1 and 279 is 112.
You must have been talking to Alaska. 112.
112, you guys. 112. This is exciting. All right, this is the kind of thing. We appreciate the fact that you hung out there for us today on a live show and did that and came to play. Show. We really appreciate it. It's fun to, you know, one of the nice things about downloadable lessons is that you don't need, once you've got them on your computer, you don't, while you can always watch them on the Vimeo site, you have the option of downloading them. And then they're on your computer, and you could just go anywhere, and you don't need internet.
Or your iPad or tablet or phone.
On your phone, any of those things.
They can go to basically any device you've got. So that was Mary Yavner.
Mary Yavner.
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 Yavner. Mary Yavner, congratulations. And that's a new name. Haven't heard that before, so congratulations. gingercookondemand.com is where you're going to find those lessons. And we've got a lot of different ones, but you want to look for the ones that are 1 credit.
1 credit lessons.
1 credit lesson.
Which I need to probably make a list for that. How do I get the code for the downloadable? Susan, you pick let us know what lesson you want. Use a contact form, and we will give you the secret code just for you, personalized, so you get it for a freebie.
Okay.
And Ginger Cook, any of the contact forms on any of our sites will work. We'll find you.
So again, we thank you guys so much for being guests on our, on our channel today. Here's the 2
Oh wait,
vases.
let me get rid of the T-shirt stuff.
Just
let me clean up house here. If you can start showing things, 1 moment, please.
Yeah, I just want to put the. I mean, there may be one you like better than another.
Well, those 2 were really close.
Yeah, I think I made this vase a little bigger than that one.
Yeah, it looks a little bulbier.
I gave him a little more groceries. Could have made him smaller. Yeah, could have made him smaller, but I think it works. Either one works. I actually kind of like the bigger one myself, but this one, they both work.
Yeah, they do.
But again, you got the idea of how to do the little flowers and so forth.
Yes, you did.
And the nice thing about it is, now let me just say something about this. The nice thing about it, were you to want to make this vase, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that you wanted to come in and make your vase smaller. Because someone said, well, I made my vase too big, right?
I think
this is important, right?
Okay, are you going to do the whole thing? Are you going to make them smaller?
It takes seconds. You want to see how to do it?
How are you going to make them smaller in seconds?
It takes seconds. You've got to trust me on this. It takes seconds. And I think that, because I might say, if you sent this in for personal art coaching, yeah, it's okay. What if you made it smaller, right? So what if I said that? So what you would want to do first is decide how much smaller you wanted to make it, okay? So if I'm holding them up both side by side, right? And I've decided, well, I like it, but I think I want it to come in a little bit more here, like that. I might just chalk over that. Whatever you take off on one side, you're going to take off on the other, right? So this is about where I want it to come under. So I want it a little bit thinner, right? I mean, that stuff, and maybe I want it to come in a little bit. Maybe I want it to just squeeze it in just a little bit here, right? Okay, I could, okay? So
I really feel sorry for the people that bailed out already.
Well, you know what, that's why we always told you, we do give you, if you hung in there till the end, you're
going to get a secret tip.
We would give you a secret tip, right? So the first thing I would do is just take the color that we use for the background and just do this. Okay, because we know that we want that color. And then this one on this side was a little bit lighter, but it's basically this color, this Southern Ocean blue color, right here like that. So we would just come in like that and make it, just go right over the chalk and make it smaller. I mean, that's how easy this is. Now, I mean, that's just not that hard to do, was it? You know, and then if you want to come in a little bit more, let's say a little bit tighter here on this side, right? I'm going to just straighten this up. This so bothers me, this slant. Okay, so then if I wanted to come back here a little bit tighter on this side, on the vase under here, right, because I've got the base a little bigger, I could just bring it in like this on both sides. Yeah. Come under and just make that a little smaller. That is just not that big a deal to turn around and make something like this smaller. It's acrylics, you guys, and so you've just got.
And in the same way, you can also make it fatter.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You make it fatter, and if you dry everything really well, and then you weren't pleased with it, you could just wipe it off. So I think I want it smaller, but maybe I don't, or whatever you said. And you know, you're going to say I want this a little darker right here, like that. Okay, and then I want this to come around here like this with a little bit of the vase color. I mean, it does help to kind of know how you did the vase color, right? Let's just get rid of the chalk here like that. Maybe I'll round it off a little bit like that. Like that. Okay. There, I mean, that's easy enough to do. So don't get intimidated by the fact that, well, I would have done that, but it looked hard, and I screwed this up, or I just not exactly the way I want it. You can do anything.
Redo, paint over.
Paint over. You absolutely can. So you've got the option of just going ahead and like I say, you know, reshaping if you need to reshape in something.
Why do
you know, sometimes you just want to put a little bit of dark right there, because that's you know, so it'll show up. It's not as dark as this side, but I still want it to be a little darker here to kind of give my vase some shape. A lot of times what you're really trying for is contrast. Does that make sense? You're really going for the contrast here so your vase shows up. Because remember, the light was coming from the front. He had a very interesting way he lit the whole process. And then he took this vase here and he made it kind of where you saw it, it came out like that on that side and that, and he widened it on that side. Okay, so that's how he got and he still did it a little bit bulgy right here. He still had it a little bit bulgy right there. So then, I mean, I think that's good. I think those are good tips to have. How to change something. If you see it and you do it, and you know, you're just happily painting along. You hold it up to a mirror. You look at it again and say, I need to change something. Dry what you've got and then repaint it. Okay, because it's acrylic, and the longer you do it, the easier it is to do.
Okay.
Aha!
So that was your secret bonus lesson.
That was the bonus, right?
Secret bonus lesson, right there.
Yeah, how to change that.
Do you have the little put the 6x8 over there instead.
Okay, so let's move this.
Get that one out. That's old news.
Here's our little 6x8.
There you go.
Here's
Put
our
it down a little bit.
6x8.
Slide down just a little bit. That's good.
Yeah, right. Those are little bonus paintings.
There we go.
Little 10-minute bonus paintings, and congratulations to you guys who also won the downloadable lessons. Thanks to Sharon Poff, and we thank everybody for for helping our scholarship fund today. And we think you guys are great and happy painting. Hey, be sure to catch us next Monday night too, and look for those Ginger's gems.
They are a gem to be found.
They're really worth watching, honestly. 8 minutes, promise.
8 minutes tops, really?
Yeah.
You don't have one that's longer than 8 minutes?
I think about 8 minutes, 5 to 8. They're really, really some valuable painting tips.
Really, really valuable?
Mm-hmm. As opposed to sort of valuable.
Can I cash them in? Every time you paint, you're cashing them in.
Say goodnight, John.
Good night, John. Sammy and Judy. Night, everyone.
Bye.
And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylic.